Part 250. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2491. Fang Fan thought to himself, thinking this shouldn't be a problem, right? When the thunder calamity in the sanctuary gradually dissipated, a wave of spiritual power rushed into his body crazily. At the same time, Fang Fan's cultivation also skyrocketed. All of this is going smoothly in this direction and is developing in an all-round way. Fang Fan spit out and looked at the turbid air, and the smile on his face grew more and more. The feeling of being promoted is naturally extraordinarily comfortable no matter how you say it, and the artistic conception and feeling at this moment are also very real. The first stage of a one-star sanctuary realm. This is just the beginning. It can still have energy. Fang Fan's eyes lit up, and he thought to himself. One-star middle sanctuary realm. Continue. For it. Why don't you feel it anymore? Fang Fan opened his mouth, his brows trembled. This is the end. Play. Shouldn't everyone be able to at least be promoted to the 5-star initial sanctuary? Why is there nothing now? 1-star middle sanctuary. Isn't that a little bit worse? Fang Fan's lips twitched subconsciously. At this moment of thinking in his heart, his expression also changed. It's just that he has been suspended in the sky above the tribulation land for so long, and there is no tendency to continue to advance. It's stuck in the sanctuary in the middle of the 1-star. Fang Fan let out a breath, his facial expression looked a little strange. Bastard! What are you still doing up there? Hurry up! Get out of here! It's really, I'm so angry. This land of crossing the catastrophe was destroyed by you before, and it was rebuilt just now, and it was completely destroyed by you again. You bastard! Shui Wanren's lips twitched violently. While speaking, he couldn't help but began to curse. The main source of grievances is because Fang Fan has cheated on his family's cabbage, so this heart is getting old. Shui Wanren, the deputy head of Guangming Academy, cursed like this, then glanced around, and found that the turbulent thunder group gradually disappeared, and then he couldn't help but have some doubts on his face. The feelings in this heart can't help but become more. As expected, no matter how terrifying the sanctuary lightning tribulation, it doesn't seem to matter to this kid. Or, people didn't care about these at all. This kid is really weird. There is still a doorway here, there are still problems. There's something wrong. Shui Wanren, deputy head of the Guangming Academy, thought this way in his heart, and the gesture of gnashing his teeth was vividly displayed. Anyway, he felt that something was wrong, and he thought so in his heart. Fang Fan, how are you? You seem a little unhappy. Did the thunder group hurt you? Tell me where it hurts. My father has the holy medicine for healing, I will ask him to bring it to you. Concubine Xiang came over in a hurry. While she was talking, the worry on her face was palpable. Shui Wanren at the side almost spit out a mouthful of blood when he heard this. Is this his little padded jacket? This little padded jacket is not only windy now, but it is pure black-hearted cotton. Can this work? Shui Wanren took a deep breath, feeling dizzy for no reason. Cough, it's okay, I just thought of something. Anyway, I was promoted successfully. This time, I would like to thank my father-in-law for protecting me. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2492. Fang Fan looked at Shui Wanren solemnly, speaking with sincerity. Who protected you? I'm afraid you kid will make me blind again. Be nice to concubine Xiang, otherwise this old man will never let you go. Snored. Shui Wanren, deputy head of the Guangming Academy, gritted his molars. Seeing the intimacy between his daughter and Fang Fan, he felt quite helpless. Looking at this sweet scene, Shui Wanren felt inexplicably silent. That's not the case anyway. Continuing to stay here, Shui Wanren felt that he would only have more headaches and dizziness, and he could not see clearly. Shui Wanren groaned twice, and strode away directly. After the deputy palace master left, more people gathered around Fang Fan. Fang Fan's lover. Ha ha ha. Good. Good. It has the demeanor of your master back then. You actually took down the daughter of the deputy palace master. Long face. What a long face. From now on, I'll see how the deputy palace master is still sneering in front of me. In the future, the deputy palace master and I will be able to sit on an equal footing. Good apprentice. Good apprentice. Uncle Ji waited until Shui Wanren left, and then rushed forward with a sullen expression on his face. While talking, the excitement on his face was beyond words, as if what he was saying really seemed to be the case. Anyway, with this attitude, there is no need to say anything else. Their respective expressions and poses are clearly revealed. After this wave, the feeling is very real. Uncle Ji. Stop talking nonsense. Even if the old man leaves, it's easy to hear a few words. A howling sound followed, and Taishaji's body trembled immediately. What the hell, are you still playing dirty? Cough. Fang Fan's disciple, I still have something to do here, come and see me later. Taishaji said a few words, and then they left. After Taishaji left, Bai Piao and others filed in. Fang Fan boy. Fang Fan boy. You are a son of man in vain. Do you know, I stood guard for you for 2 days and 2 nights. Can you feel sorry for me? Am I easy? I can't sleep well. You kid is so good at tossing around. I know you are amazing. I know you are very talented, but can you consider our feelings a little bit? We all feel inferior. Bai Piao ran over with a loud voice. While talking, the desire to complain seemed particularly strong. It's really impossible not to make complaints about it. After this wave, it's all about slapping him in the face. Bai Piao said that he was really too difficult. At that time, in number 1 training room on the 9th floor of the Tower of Light, he was holding Gisha and Zhuoqiuyao in his arms, and he could only endure it with difficulty. After Bai Piao finished speaking, Gisha also vomited bitterness. Brother Fang Fan, in the past 2 days and 2 nights, I have gone mad several times. Brother Fang Fan, don't talk about anything else, your fighting power in this aspect is stronger than your real fighting power. How did you develop it, can you teach me? Gisha's expression gradually changed from serious to obscene. This gaudy thing, thinks about what is there and what is not. Anyway, this gaudy words have been fully expressed, as for what it will eventually evolve into, it is unknown. Anyway, it looks very real. Brother Fang Fan, don't listen to their nonsense. What's wrong with going crazy? Isn't this foundation more solid? What's the key? That's all, isn't Brother Fang Fan the son-in-law of the Deputy Palace Master now? Will we be able to enter and leave the Tower of Light at will in the future? It's too expensive. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2493. Zhou Qiuyao also walked over screaming, this bluffing appearance was really in line with his temperament. Often still want to go through the back door. Stop bullshitting. Cough, this time it was an accident. Then what, mainly for cultivation. Fang Fan waved his hand without embarrassment at all. As long as I'm not embarrassed, it's only others who are embarrassed. This has always been Fang Fan's motto, but it sounds different. These are the things that Fang Fan thinks about. Fang Fan said it doesn't matter, but Xiang Fei at the side has already pressed her rosy cheeks to Fang Fan's chest. This is too embarrassing. Didn't you say it's soundproof? You bastard. Concubine Xiang hit Fang Fan with her small fist, and while talking, her body became more and more limp. Fang Fan followed suit and shrugged, who knew that this was a tofu project. There is a problem with the construction side of this training room. No sound insulation, what's the use of it? It can't be my fault, I have the impression that this training room is guaranteed to be soundproof. It's the first time I've seen this kind of non-soundproof training room. Then what? This can only show that the practice room was built with no care, and the quality was not improved. Next time I see your father, I have to talk about it. Fang Fan patted his chest, speaking confidently. Taking care of all aspects, if you don't have any confidence, you will be blind for nothing. Anyway, there is still a bit of doorway here. Stop talking nonsense. What does this have to do with the training room? It's all your fault. It's all you. Concubine Xiang exhaled like blue, and the resentment in her eyes immediately revealed as she spoke. Fang Fan took a deep breath, and his heart couldn't help beating. It must be a lie to say that there is no feeling at all at this moment. Now I feel that my heart is pounding. It is probably this kind of feeling that comes from the depths of my soul. This feeling just flutters silently, that's all. It's all right. At this time, a female voice came, and the audience immediately fell silent. Including Bai Piao Zhou, the two famous broken mouths all shut up. Everyone looked at each other, and the expressions on their faces seemed a little weird. Looking at it from all aspects, something is not quite right. My head is buzzing, not to mention other things, and now I have a headache. Everyone's gazes gradually turned away, only to see Mirongyu walking over with a smile on his face. The relationship between Fang Fan and Mirongyu is now well understood by everyone. They all know what's going on now, and at this moment, the feeling of embarrassment comes. The car overturned. This relationship is too messy. I can't stand it. Why do I still feel so exciting and envious? Bai Piao gritted his teeth and sighed beside him. As far as the relationship between brother Fang Fan and instructor Murong is concerned, now there is a concubine Xiang, cough, this concubine Xiang is also an apprentice of instructor Murong. I don't know what to say, I can only hope that brother Fang Fan will be blessed. While talking, Zhuo Yao said with deep emotion, this is probably how he feels now. When I feel the right place, everything I say becomes normal. Otherwise, let's withdraw, it's too embarrassing. Now I find that there is nothing wrong with being single, at least not in this situation. Guisha touched his head and commented deeply. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2494. Fang Fan looked at Mirongyu, Xiang Fei also got out of Fang Fan's arms. This is really embarrassing, I have to say. It seems that it is not good to say anything or not to say anything at this moment. Especially Xiang Fei, who lowered her head to the dust, always felt a little sorry for her master. Master. Concubine Xiang said cautiously, feeling ashamed beyond measure. What is this for? I haven't seen master for a few days, so why are you born? Keep talking. It's all right. Xiao Xiangfei, I know it has nothing to do with you. This little bastard did it all. While talking, Mirongyu immediately stared at Fang Fan's position. Anyway, no matter how you say it now, it is certain that Fang Fan is the culprit. As Mirongyu said this, the movements of his hands followed closely. Fang Fan inexplicably felt a tremor in his waist. The land is very real. Pain. The corner of Fang Fan's mouth twitched, and then he followed up from the side. It still hurts. Then why don't you have a heart? Look at how little Xiangfei has been tossed by you. If you dare to bully my concubine Xiang casually in the future, I can't spare you. Murong clenched his teeth, and when he spoke like this, Silver Teeth clenched his teeth immediately, and his expression seemed very unique. This attitude and expression seem a little different. Fang Fan sighed silently, his eyes followed and scanned the surroundings. With you here, how dare I? Are you waiting outside in a hurry? Don't worry, it's okay. What have I been doing for the past 2 days, isn't it mainly for cultivation? If it wasn't for these 2 days of arduous training, I wouldn't have been able to attract the sanctuary Thunder Tribulation in such a short period of time, and thus be promoted successfully. Fang Fan held his head high and his chest high, his gesture and expression seemed to be quite true. Anyway, as it is now, in all aspects, it is very real. This kid Fang Fan started fooling around again. This guy doesn't blush when he lies. How can you say this more confidently than me? Good guy, how dare you do that? I want to expose his shameless face. Bai Piao's eyes widened at the side, then he gritted his teeth and said. Brother Bai Piao, don't worry about it, this is the charm of Brother Fang Fan. There is a high probability that you will be bullied if you go up, so it's better to stand aside. This is a family matter. Brother Fang Fan's method is really brilliant. With just a few words, the house can be stabilized. Zhuo Yao's expression was full of admiration. At this moment, he said something like this, and then nodded, the expression on his face seemed very real. With this in mind, the excitement in his eyes was beyond words. Probably this expression and posture. Indeed. Brother Fang Fan is a role model for my generation. It's not just about training and fighting, it's even more so in these aspects. Anyway, I admire it in my heart. I admire it very much. There are advantages everywhere. You can do everything so perfectly. There really are such perfect people in the world. It's shocking. Gisha was deeply touched, and while talking, he nodded his head repeatedly, not saying anything else, just this gesture was very real. Anyway, all these feelings of admiration are spinning in my mind, that's how it is. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2495. Bai Piaoan looked at the situation and it was not quite right. This is quite different from what he expected. What the hell is going on? Waves, whether it will work or not. How did you become a super fanboy? This is a bit different from the established expected plan. Bai Piao muttered, the thoughts in his mind had been completely frozen at this moment. Why are you being bought like this? Don't you want any bottom line? Fang Fan's behavior is cheating. Shameless. Obscene. Despicable. Despicable. Bai Piao muttered and complained, looking really excited. Kisha and Zhuo Yao looked at each other and smiled, they both understood what was going on. Brother Bai Piao, keep a low profile when you should, there's no need to be so jealous. Jealousy is the original sin, but you must control it. That's right, Brother Bai Piao, you have to know something in your heart, and you must not be careless about this matter. Is there a saying? I lost Jingzhou carelessly. This kind of carelessness will easily lead to problems. Kisha and Zhuo Yao kept talking to each other, leaving Bai Piao speechless. That's it? That's it? Can this still work? Wouldn't it be nice to save him some face? Is he shameless? Having said that, isn't this just a slap in the face? Why is the sense of rhythm of this face slapping so strong? You guys, what are you muttering about? Hurry up, are you clear? Understood, quickly withdraw with me. Fang Fan raised his head and glanced at these live treasures, and then complained. While talking, Fang Fan immediately took the lead and prepared to evacuate. There is no such thing as reliable. You guys wait. You have several freshmen here, and there are some things that I need to tell you. The exchange competition between various universities will start soon, do you know? Murong Yu murmured for a while, and then followed suit. Fang Fan blinked, really didn't know. What the hell? Exchange match. Instructor Murong, isn't this right? It's been less than 100 years since the last school exchange competition. Why is this going to be held again? Normally, isn't it held once every 1,000 years? Zhuoqiu Yao froze for a moment, then followed up. This time it's different. I'll tell you clearly. Currently, sacred soil resources have been discovered in the area where Yuanxi Academy is located. You should know what this sacred land resource represents. Murong Yu spoke decently, and his expression became solemn. Represents what? Fang Fan was stunned for a moment, and then asked sincerely. In this aspect, he really didn't know what it was. From this point of view, he really didn't quite understand what it was. Are you angry with me on purpose? Murong Yu clenched his silver teeth and said angrily. Where does this start? It's indeed the first time I've heard of these sacred soil resources. Fang Fan sighed softly, then said helplessly. The soil of the gods is the soil of the domain of the gods. This shows that that place used to be the location of God's domain, and I don't know why it fell down. But even in the fallen God's domain, the soil is full of all kinds of divinity. Planting the elixir seeds in the sacred soil can speed up the growth and improve the quality. If a practitioner can cultivate on the divine soil, not only can he speed up his cultivation, but he can also comprehend some divinity, which will help him ascend to the realm of the gods. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2496. Concubine Xiang immediately talked about some benefits of the sacred soil resources. Anyway, this is an excellent resource. Since the resources of this sacred soil are so good, it should be that the major forces are vying to snatch the sacred soil, and then bring it back to their own territory. Fang Fan was stunned for a moment, then asked in doubt. This sacred soil is strange because it is on this. I don't know why, once the sacred soil resources appear, they can only be placed in that place, and high-intensity battles cannot occur around them, otherwise the environment around the sacred soil resources will collapse directly. So it's unlikely to bring back the sacred soil resources, or in other words, there is no such possibility at all. As for the snatching of sacred soil resources, it's not that such sacred soil resources have never appeared before, but because the major forces compete with each other, the divinity of the sacred soil resources has been destroyed, making the bamboo basket fetching water in vain. So once this wild sacred soil resource is discovered now, it must be protected immediately, and then the major forces will compete. That's all I know, I don't know much about the deeper ones. While talking, Concubine Xiang nodded and said, these are some information and news she knows at the moment. Xiangfei is right, the general situation is like this. If the major forces break out of war because of the resources of the sacred soil, it will inevitably damage the divinity of the sacred soil. To a certain extent, the gains outweigh the losses. So this time, the major forces intend to let the schools and colleges of their respective forces decide the division of the sacred land resources through an exchange game. And this time, the sacred soil resources are also within the domain of the Yuanxi Academy. The competition will be based on the academy. On the one hand, there will be no large-scale battles, and on the other hand, everyone can recognize it. The specific rules have to be formulated by the major forces themselves, but it is nothing more than winning the first place in the college exchange competition, then they can carve up more sacred land resources. In the future, this college or school can split more the land of the gods. Our Guangming Academy must also participate in this matter, so now we need to form a seed class and conduct comprehensive training to prepare for the exchange competition half a year later. While talking, Mirongyu glanced around. What is the format of this exchange match? Using the school as the unit? Then it doesn't have much to do with freshmen like us, right? Isn't it more secure to find some old students who have practiced for a long time? Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, and then asked. Right now, there are no specific rules for the competition, but it is likely that competitions need to be divided into grades. When the time comes, you first-year freshmen will naturally be the first-year freshmen from other schools and colleges. The purpose of my saying this is to let you prepare early. Sign up for the seed class as much as possible. At least within half a year, the school must train the students of the seed class at all costs. At that time, all kinds of cultivation resources must be fully supplied. What Mirongyu said was the truth, especially at this time, it was even more so. Fang Fan groaned on the spot, didn't say much, just expressed a silent gesture. The existence of the divine soil has led an all-round wave. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2497. So, you want us all to sign up for the seed class? Fang Fan pondered for a while, and then said directly that he could more or less know about Mirongyu's thoughts, and that's probably what he meant. Certainly. I think this will be a very good opportunity. If you can really grasp it, it will be able to create 100 times or even 1,000 times the benefits for you. In addition to being able to practice without resource restrictions for half a year in the seed class, once you contribute to the Guangming Academy's top spot in the exchange competition between various colleges and universities, then the Guangming Academy will definitely be able to share more sacred soil resources in the future. At that time, these heroes will have the opportunity to directly use these sacred soil resources. I think you should understand what I mean. If you can cultivate in the sacred soil, it is not just as simple as having the opportunity to speed up your cultivation. The benefits that can be obtained will be very enviable. This is a great opportunity. While Mirongyu was talking, there was a special light in his eyes. From her point of view, I also think this is a good opportunity. If you can control it, the road ahead will become open. Thinking of this, the smiles on his face inexplicably increased, and his mentality gradually became much more stable. I want to join the seed class. The sacred soil resources belong to me. While talking, Bai Piao's eyes flickered, and he couldn't help showing excitement on his face while speaking. This excitement is still from the heart. Obviously, he has a different desire for this kind of divine land. Under normal circumstances, it is absolutely impossible for Bai Piao to show such an excited gesture, which only shows that this sacred soil resource is of great help to him. Fang Fan, don't hesitate. Bai Piao said excitedly at the side. When speaking, even the accent changes. Obviously, the thinking and ideas in all aspects are very real. From his point of view, this is still an excellent opportunity. If Fang Fan can seize this opportunity, the benefits he can get are self-evident. But if you just miss it, it will be a loss for Jiaodia. Now the most important thing is to see how Fang Fan thinks about it. It seems that you know a lot of inside information. But just you, can you join the seed class? Fang Fan's gaze sized up Bai Piao. If there were any hard conditions, Bai Piao would definitely not do it. There are too many things involved. Bai Piao is also suitable for paddling, and when encountering such serious things, it is basically considered cold. Of course I can. Isn't this still yours? You are the son-in-law of Cheng Longkui of the Deputy Palace Master now, it's not a big problem to arrange it for me. Bai Piao waved his hand and said arrogantly, Anyway, he naturally has his own judgment on this matter. Fang Fan was speechless. This guy is having a hard time with this matter now, and he has to mention it at every turn, but the key is that there is not so much at all, and he thinks too much. This seems somewhat unnecessary. Let's play. There's nothing to do. Staying in the academy is really boring. Fang Fan stretched his waist and said helplessly that he has gained weight recently. It's because I'm too busy. No need to run around all day. Eat and sleep, sleep and play, play and then eat. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2498. When Murong Yu's yin and yang voice came, Fang Fan shrugged helplessly. How did he answer those words? He can't accept this. All these things have something to do with him as a hammer. Thinking about it is a bit too much. One wave after another, it's the rhythm of doing things. According to the information disclosed by the school, once you successfully join the seed class, you will be rewarded with a one-time reward of 1000 credits. Your own opportunities must be controlled. Once the seed class has completely started fighting, there will definitely be many professional instructors teaching you fighting skills. At that time, you will also have the opportunity to get an all-round improvement. Anyway, this is an opportunity, just take it under control. Murong Yu pondered for a while, and then continued to talk. Anyway, these things have been explained very clearly now. As for what will happen next, it is unknown. If the 1000 credits when he just entered the school was still attractive to Fang Fan, as for now, suddenly I feel a little unknown. Probably because it is really floating now. 1000 credits, converted into a star core, is less than 100 million. Now that the low-grade star core is less than 100 million, it seems that it is a bit out of reach. So the purpose of setting up the seed class is to compete for the sacred land resources. Gisha realized later, and immediately asked. This is only one aspect. This kind of exchange competition between colleges and universities also reflects the combat power and training of the younger generation of the major forces to a certain extent. This is also a good opportunity to win glory for Guangming Academy. In the past major exchange competitions, there was no lack of a different kind of war. If you can really win in this kind of alternative war, it will naturally be an excellent thing. Now it mainly depends on the future development prospects and development opportunities. Especially against dark schools, you must overwhelm them. We not only want to win the battle against the dark camp in the battle of gods. It's even more so in the confrontation between schools. At that time, there will be big figures from the Bright Academy and the Dark Academy. In such a situation where the smell of gunpowder is extremely strong, those big shots like to bet heavily on the students of their own schools. On the one hand, it is to boost the morale of one's own side, and on the other hand, it is also to win more treasures from the Dark Academy and even the entire Dark Camp through this method. A treasure that is quite important to those demigods, it is a family heirloom in any camp. Which faction has one more item and one less item, but they all affect the overall combat effectiveness. What Murong Yu said was very mysterious, but Fang Fan suddenly felt something was not quite right when he heard it. Isn't this humming gambling? Gambling dogs will die. Fang Fan judged sincerely. Fang Fan. Murong Yu stared at her beautiful eyes directly, and complained angrily. This wave of waves, what kind of trouble do they want to make? Can it still work? What's the situation now? Do you have no points in your heart? Do you still want to do things here? Cough. I think the atmosphere is pretty good. At that time, I will drive my Beipiao casino to the exchange match. Boy Fang Fan, if we continue to cooperate, we will definitely be able to eat black and white. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2499. While talking, Bai Biao rubbed his hands excitedly, the excitement on his face was beyond words. This time the mood is rare and comfortable. As soon as I thought of this feeling gradually came, and I more or less had thoughts and ideas about this in my heart. Always feel happy. This is also the feeling of a wave of takeoff. He made more than 100 billion yuan in gambling at the martial arts field of Tiandao society before, which gave Bai Biao a taste of the sweetness, and now he is thinking about this matter so hard that he can't make it through. There is an extraordinary desire for these in my heart. It can only be said that it is very normal to have this kind of thinking, and it is also human nature. Who doesn't want to do profitable business? As long as there is an opportunity, if there is a chance, naturally they want to fight to the end. There is no doubt about this. Standing from this angle, it is also vividly displayed. You're thinking about these things in your heart. Can I have a little sense of collective honor? This is fighting for the bright academy. This is fighting for justice. Fighting for the light. We should feel extremely honored. Instead of being cramped in this trivial matter. The one who sacrifices small benefits for great righteousness is the real saint. It's been a lot of time with me, but why haven't you learned anything about this spirit? Fang Fan looked like an envoy of justice, and while he was talking, his body seemed to emit a kind of justice. With such a feeling in my heart at this moment, that feeling becomes more impressive. Bai Biao was complained a lot, and now she seemed a little confused. He looked at Fang Fan like this, looked up and down, and felt a little unfamiliar. Why do you feel that this is so false? So you are the messenger of light, and the money you make from gambling is all ill-gotten gains, so you don't want it anymore. Bai Biao's eyes lighted up. Speaking of which, he can swallow it all by himself. Cough. God said, if I don't go to hell, who will go to hell? If that's the case, let me alone bear the karma brought about by this ill-gotten wealth. Brother Bai Biao, of course I can't let you bear it alone. We still divide the accounts according to the previous contract. Fang Fan waved his hand and said sincerely. Bai Biao. How does it feel like you said everything? Too bad. I'm not human, but you are a real dog. The corner of Bai Biao's mouth twitched, and then he rolled his eyes and complained. Fang Fan looked indifferent. How big is it? In this regard, he is completely used to it. By the way, if you participate in this kind of subclass, do you have to participate in some kind of exchange competition? Fang Fan pondered for a while, and then asked, this point is quite critical to a certain extent. If you join this kind of subclass and you will be forced to participate in some exchange competition, you must think about your relationship in advance. Of course not. There is no need to worry about this. According to the current decision of the school, it is almost intended to select 100 people from the first grade to the fourth grade to form a seed class. But in the end, about a dozen people will be enough to participate in the exchange competition. That is to say, there is only about 1/10 of the chance to represent the school in the exchange competition. If you really don't want to participate in the exchange competition, you can also take it as an opportunity to sharpen. Murong, you told all the relevant inside information. To put it bluntly, if you enter the seed class, you don't necessarily have the opportunity to participate in the exchange competition, and you have to go through layers of screening. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2500. From this point of view, there are indeed many benefits to joining this kind of subclass, and it can be advanced or retreated. Relatively speaking, it is relatively safe. Fang Fan nodded silently, his eyes couldn't help but sparkle with a different kind of light. This matter was disclosed to Fang Fan and others by Murongyu in advance, but in the afternoon, the school made an announcement. It's not too different from what Murongyu said. Anyway, I hope all the students can actively participate. In the end, thousands of people signed up for the first-year seed class. That momentum is extremely brave. If this momentum continues, it will take a lot of time to screen out students who meet the rules. In the end, Guangming Academy can only ask for an improvement. Don't sign up below the first-year 3-star sanctuary. Don't sign up below the 4-star sanctuary in the 2nd grade. Don't sign up below the 5-star sanctuary in the 3rd grade. 6-star sanctuary and below the 4th grade do not sign up. It is probably such a thing, showing a very clear attitude. In fact, to put it simply, if you are not a leader in the same age group, this kind of subclass or non-seed class will have nothing to do with you, so don't get involved. Although it was not clearly expressed, the meaning behind the words is actually that. After this wave, it seems more and more clear. As a result, the situation has gradually become more stable. Those students who did not meet the standard were naturally all passed. At this moment Fang Fan and Bai Biao are a little confused. Needless to say, Bai Biao, this guy can't detect his cultivation at all. As for Fang Fan, he is now in the middle of the 1-star sanctuary realm, which is still far from the standard of the 3-star sanctuary realm for students of this grade. As soon as he walked to the registration place, Fang Fan felt somewhat embarrassed. What the hell was eliminated before entering? Discrimination. This is Chiguakyo's discrimination. Yay. How can you behave like this? What's wrong with me? Why can't I sign up for the seed class? I think I was praised by all the mentors and deans in the Swifu Square back then. Bai Biao followed the shouting and drove away. While talking, his eyes widened. While talking, this gesture of complaining is vividly displayed. Anyway, I can't hold on anymore in my heart, I should call it or have to call it. Can this be tolerated? Seeing that Bai Biao had roared regardless of his image, Fang Fan on the side subconsciously covered his face. What a shame. How embarrassing. This guy, can he still do it? Why can't you explain such a little thing, can you? What should be said, what should not be said, do you have no points in your heart? What happened? Who is making noise? In the distance, Shui Wanren, deputy head of the Guangming Academy, galloped over with strides, his expression not very good looking. Especially after seeing Fang Fan, the gesture and expression were even more so. The revenge of the cabbage is unforgettable. Fang Fan opened his mouth, and when he was about to say something, Bai Biao rushed forward. Uncle Shui, you have to decide for us. We also want to enter the seed class to practice, so that we can have the opportunity to participate in the exchange competition for our school and win glory for our school. This is our truest desire. Can you just do that? Just open the back door or something. After all, we are a family, aren't we, Uncle Shui?